Hello and welcome once more to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Amasa. Today is the 29th of March and I have some rather interesting news for you regarding The Witcher 3. As well, there has actually been quite a lengthy discussion on the Witcher 3 forums, basically wondering if there was going to be a toggle on the PC version settings for something by the name of Chromatic Aberration. Basically, people wanted to know, can I turn this option on or off? And someone from CD Projekt RED by the name of Ginger Effect on the forums basically said that yes, you can turn this off in PC settings. There will be a toggle. Now, a lot of you are probably going to be sitting there scratching your head thinking, what on earth is Chromatic Aberration? Now, I've linked a couple of images in the description below this video, and you'll see a couple of examples of Chromatic Aberration which were helpfully provided on the Reddit of r/games. So thanks to the person who posted those. And you can kind of see it. There's one from the Order 1886 which is quite subtle, and there's one from another game which you can see it a lot more clearly. And this is actually an effect that happens a lot in filming and photography as well as real life. Basically, it's down to the curvature of the lenses, and to not get this effect in films, you have to buy a rather expensive set of lenses to not have this effect. And if you hop on over to the wiki, it describes chromatic aberration as, quote, "Chromatic aberration, also known as colour fringing or purple fringing, is a common optical problem that occurs when a lens is either unable to bring all wavelengths of colour to the same focal plane, and or when wavelengths of colour are focused at different positions in the focal plane." And someone on Reddit, again the r/games thread, described it as such, and it's a little bit more easy to understand with this explanation here. Quote, "The orange fringe is shown when there is a high contrast edge going from light to dark as you go away from the centre. If the edge goes from dark to light as you go away from the centre, you see a blue fringe." And you can see that pretty clearly in the second image that I've linked you here. And of course you can see it a little bit in the order, but it's not actually that bad in the order. Now, I bet some of you are wondering, well, if they actually go out of their way to not have this effect in films, like they go to, you know, buy expensive lenses and all these other things, so you don't get this effect, because apparently it's very nauseating for some people, which is why it was actually such a hot topic on the Witcher forums. Why would they go and add it? Well, it's basically like film grain and lens flare. Both are artifacts of old filmmaking technology, and a lot of the time the reason that CG looks too clean in films is that, well, it looks too perfect. There aren't imperfections like we see in real life, because chromatic aberration can even happen in real life, especially if you wear glasses. If the lights hit your glasses the right way, or it's even smeared a little bit on the lens. You can see it in real life, so having it too clean kind of ruins the immersion, ruins the realism. But obviously in this case, in games, they often go too far with chromatic aberration. Ends up being too in your face, too noticeable, and obviously ends up actually nauseating some people and obviously making the game look worse. I can get the kind of realism thing, but obviously having the ability to turn that off is obviously good, because usually with film grain and lens flare and motion blur and that sort of thing, you usually have options to turn those off. I myself always turn motion blur off because I absolutely detest it. I think it makes the game look horrible. But it basically was, we're going for realism thing, because it is present in real life, in old photography and old films and things like that. So again, with the film CG, it might look too clean if you don't have these little imperfections, but obviously some games take it too far. I'm not saying The Witcher has, because obviously we haven't played it, it's not even out yet, but I'm just giving examples. So, if you were concerned about chromatic aberration, have no fear, and if you weren't, well, you learned something new about films and games today, I suppose. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.